feel like they always ask, what do you want to be when you grow up, to little kids and little kids only, but what about the adults? What if my idea wants to change and the way I feel and like what I want to be when I grow up changes? We should normalize asking adults like what it is that we actually want to do versus what we're doing currently. I get asked a question a lot of why I switched from finance to nursing, and especially in such a quick turnover time. I graduated and then like within a few months I was back in school, and the answer is simple. I just wanted to. Do I sit here or do I pivot? Do I sit in this unhappiness because it's something I know? Do I sit in this unhappiness because it's comfortable? Do I sit in this unhappiness because it's safe? Or do I pivot to what could be something I don't even know, something bigger than me, something so exciting and so grand and just so fresh and so just like, just makes your spirit feel alive? Like, that's what I look for in just life and what I look for in a job. I look for something that makes me feel, you know, like nursing makes me feel. I'm able to really connect with people. I'm able to do good. I'm able to do great. So right now I'm a travel nurse and I've been doing nursing for about 5.5 years. But before I pursued nursing, I actually pursued a career in finance. So I have my bachelor's in business administration with a concentration in finance. I got my bachelor's in 2016. And not shortly after that, I realized that like finance just wasn't for me. I had a really nice internship while in my senior year. I just wasn't liking it at all. Like I just was not loving, first of all, just being in a cubicle, being in an office space. Like it just wasn't for me. The climate, staring at a screen all day. Like I didn't have a lot of like human interaction, which I really needed and I was like craving. I just wasn't happy. And then the moment I really knew, I had this really big job offer for after I graduated college. And the job was in a great place, like a beautiful city. But I recognized like it just wasn't for me. I'm like, the finance space, it just wasn't for me personally. Nursing is something that even when I was like back in high school, I had looked into, just, you know, I peeked at. My mom was an OR nurse in the military and in the civilian world. So like, just seeing her passion for nursing and hearing her, like the stories and just everything, it was just something that was so compelling to me. And I'm like, okay, like nursing is something that's on my radar. And then, you know, like when you're in, what is it, senior year, junior year, whatever, you're going to your guidance counselor and you're making the decisions of what school you want to apply to and for what and yada yada. So at the time I was taking both science classes and business classes and I was excelling equally in both of them. And it's a conversation I'll never forget that I had with my guidance counselor, and she was kind of pushing me towards business. And she's like, you know, you'll definitely be able to get a job quick, money quick, like you can climb the ladder. Like it all just seemed so enticing. At the time, again, I'm 17. I'm not even worried about working. Like I'm not even worried about none of this, honestly. I'm 17 years old. Like I'm not worried. I'm trying to just get to college and have fun. And like, of course, study. But I'm trying to get to college to have the college experience and just like live and immerse myself. I guess choosing business out of high school instead of nursing, at that time, I didn't recognize how big of a decision that was, where it's like, yo, this is actually your career. Like I got it, but I really didn't get it. Again, our brains don't click till we're 25. So like, it was just a lot of this, like, oh yes, this is your career. I'm like, oh yes, 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 I'm gonna go to college and do this. So I got to college, again, realized I wasn't happy. So I was like, you know what? Let me just pivot real quick. The next day after I turned down that job offer is when I applied to a community college then at that time. And I was like, you know, I'm gonna go take my prerequisites for nursing school. I'm gonna go to nursing school. So I applied to a community college. I got in the very next day, and then it was like, boom, like there's no stopping me. So now, boom, I'm a nurse. I'm a nurse. At that point, as soon as I got into community college, I knew I was a nurse. So yeah, I'm going to the Cheese, taking these classes, and I did this for 2 semesters, and during which I was applying to nursing programs. And thankfully, because I had my bachelor's, I was able to go to an accelerated nursing program. I went to a program that was 15 months long. While I was in nursing school, everything just felt so right, like going to the clinicals, everything just felt so right. Like I knew that that's exactly where I was supposed to be at, like in nursing. And it was perfect. At the end of the day, I always will have a business degree under my belt. I have a finance degree under my belt. It's a skill set that I still obtain. There's just so much I look for in a job. Maybe not one job will have it all, but I can just keep searching and searching for the job that's gonna make me the happiest at the end of the day. And I feel like I'm still on that hunt. I love being an emergency department nurse. Like I love it down Does it come with some of its stressors? Absolutely. Do I feel like I'm gonna be a nurse for the rest of my life? I don't, I really don't. I don't feel that. I don't feel that in my spirit. I don't know if it's big Sag energy, but like, I just feel like I can try everything in this world. And even with content creation, I'm loving this. I'm loving being able to connect with people. I'm able to flex my creative muscle. And this is something in a job I haven't had to do before. I do pray to one day have social media be my full-time job. And I would like to also become a school nurse for a little bit. I don't know when, but that is something I want to do as well. If I sat here actually and told you everything I wanted to do, all of the jobs I want, like, do you have time? Seriously, like, you can ask my sister. I have, throughout life, I don't even know how many times I'm like, you know what? No, I want to do this. I'm going to do this. I want to do this. I do feel like it's a cool part of my journey where it's like, no, I didn't do just one thing for my whole life. And no, I didn't think that I could just do one thing for my whole life. And I didn't allow myself to do one thing for my whole life. Absolutely not. Like, I want so much more for myself. I want so much. And I feel like in my 30 years, my first 30 years, like, I've done a whole lot, low key. I've done jobs that I've wanted to do. Like, I was an indoor water park lifeguard. Like, that was dope. I know everyone's circumstances, everyone's lives are completely different than the next. However, I do hope if you came across this video, you got whatever you needed from it, from my little story. Thank you for listening to my story of how I went from finance to nursing. I would love to hear your story as well. If you have one about quitting your job, switching careers, going down a different path than you originally thought, I would love to know. And also, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me down below. And if there's another video idea that you would like to see, or I don't know, just like another topic you want to discuss, let me know. And until next time, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.